trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red, and the brown. Now keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free. I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray. Time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funkin' in the city, funkin' up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. It was good in the city, funkin' up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Down, da, 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 down. Da, 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 down. Da, 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 da,
And we're live.
And we are back.
Welcome to Underdog. Well, if I could speak, welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm Wes. This guy is David, and I am severely under the weather, in case you can't tell. So this is going to be a fun show.
Yeah. He texted me earlier and said, "Hey, we're going to have to keep the show brief tonight. My wife and I are both feeling ill." Okay, all right, cool, no problem. I just happened to say that it's suspect that it's on the day that the new Rings of Power dropped. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not in a huge hurry to watch that. I mean,
so I went ahead and flipped it on. I watched the recap.
After the first season, I'm
over.
like, meh, it's Lord of the Rings-ish.
Yeah.
In like an alternate universe where none of the characters are the same, it's kind of Lord of the Ringsy.
All the credit is given to other people. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So I did flip it on a little bit ago, and I watched the first season, and I'm like, you know what? If you just check out of it and say, hey, this is a great, if you say this is just a fantasy series set in the same,
right,
it's set in Middle Earth,
set in the same genre of universe, yeah. So it's not really, if you haven't read the books or seen the movies or know anything about the lore, it's fine, it's acceptable.
Yeah. It's reasonably well done. As far as the quality of the product, it's pretty good. There is some acting choices in there that are questionable. The hobbits, though, the Harfoots.
Yeah.
There's some really, really good acting in there.
All right.
There are a couple of them that are just freaking hilarious. So,
see, I think they just dropped the ball too many times on story and keeping people guessing about what's happening. All of it was 100% predictable. And not because I've read the books and seen the movies, but they still could have done things that kept people guessing.
Oh yeah,
that they just dropped the ball on completely.
To be honest, the Silmarillion is not an easy book to follow.
The Silmarillion is one of the most difficult things you'll ever read.
Yeah, in fact, I'm reading a book right now called "The Secret History of the World" or something like that. It was a gift from the guys over at the Goalie Dads United, and so I'm reading my way through it, and you and I can have some pretty esoteric conversations, but man, this book is like all of them. It's like everything's connected. Like, well, yeah. I expect there to be a whole chapter in here somewhere on crystals and resonating harmonics. I mean, it's kind of what my expectations are. But I'm loving the book.
Right.
Absolutely loving the book.
Okay.
But it's a good read. The same thing with The Rings of Power. I think that just watching it for a fantasy movie, I think it's or a fantasy show is a great.
Yeah, for a fantasy show, it's fine. It's acceptable.
I mean, I've seen better fantasy shows, but they have different music in the beginning.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
if you get that, we can be friends.
Yeah. But I'm bummed. We're not going there. All right. So
did you see that? This should be in the news. Let's see if you can look it up and get it pulled up.
Uh-oh.
The Kentucky Fair something or another that it won a prize. I'm gonna look it up real quick so you can see it. Kentucky Fair. I'm not going to say this next part. There we go. So that removes the ribbon. So the Kentucky Fair stripped the ribbon. He stripped it. That's funny. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with the image. I want to see if I can pull up an image here real quick.
Well, why don't you tell me what it is so I can find it?
Okay. So the problem is if I tell you what it is, it's going to give it away. But it won a prize, and I'm just gonna hold my phone up. So I'm not gonna have you screenshot anything here, because it's not only is it funny that it won the prize or won a ribbon, but that it was also stripped. And
I think this is. Yeah, I think I found what you're talking about. Let me pull up the screen. I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So you got it. Are you able to pull it up?
I think so. Hang on.
All right.
And of course, I got a.
And we got an ad.
Up. Yeah. All right. So is this it? The Kentucky State
that's relevant.
Fair removes ribbon-winning miniature after realizing it depicted a porn set.
Yes, that's the one.
That's pretty funny.
That is the one.
Let's see if we can get a picture of the set. It's like just a tiny office.
Yeah. Well, it's the casting couch. Setup. There it is.
Of course you recognize it.
Of course I recognize it. Who doesn't recognize that?
But it looks like it could be out of the office.
But they gave it a prize. They were like, "Oh, this is an excellent miniature. This is I don't know what white ribbons are. It's not blue ribbon." So it won second or third place.
Okay, fair enough. It's
a
fine miniature,
which makes it absolutely hilarious.
But
Yes, that's the point. Is it? Oh man, that's just funny stuff.
That's hilarious. So how do you think? So the person on the judging committee, how do you think they broke it to the rest of the committee? Like, hey guys, I think I recognize that room. I think, like, how do you think they like?
Well, I think what happened was the guy posted the ribbon on social media, and it went. That's how I seen it. Was on social media, and I'm cracking up because I'm just going, there is some poor saps out there that were on judges that were judging these miniatures, these custom-made miniatures, and didn't recognize this, gave it a prize, and now it's plastered all over the internet.
That's hilarious.
So, this is our non-political news for today. The Kentucky State Fair gave away a ribbon.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Okay, you hear me now? Okay, I'm not repeating all that. It's funny. It's not political. That's the best we got in news today.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I get it.
But Yeah, no, there's
and it was stripped. Oh man, it cracks me up.
Yeah, I mean, so did you see this? This is the ad that's going around the internet now for prostate care.
I'm sorry. What?
Did you see this? This is supposed to help with prostate care. So yeah, of course it's on the same page. But yeah, be careful what ads you click on the internet.
Yeah, I wouldn't click on that.
But I do have a little bit
of
actual news. Actual news.
Interesting.
Because I know that you're
news.
Because I know that you're a fan of actual news. Revolutionary biohybrid robots are coming. Are you prepared?
No, I'm good.
I know this is right up your alley. So biohybrid robots combine living and synthetic materials, taking the forms of limbs and organs, or even the entire living organism. Philosophically, biohybrid. These are things you can't even say fast or slow. Biohybrid robots make plain something that many scientists and thinkers have suspected. Humans and other living creatures are just machines, albeit with organic rather than inorganic parts. With lessons from biohybrid robotics, scientists may one day build complex living beings from scratch. David, it's happening. We've reached the inflection point of...
I had to ask Alexa to turn off my nightstand 5 times the other day. I am not concerned about this stuff. Alexa Home Services is not set up for that action. You just turned it on.
So I didn't
Alexa,
save...
turn off my nightstand.
Well,
Alexa's
I didn't...
Home Services are not...
I didn't save the article, but I did just read that that Amazon's going to start selling a subscription service for a smarter Alexa.
Yeah. So I'm already, if it weren't for Rings of Power, I'd cancel Amazon Prime. I don't really order enough stuff from Amazon anymore. I've kind of gotten myself and broken myself away from the China addiction of all of the parts, and everything they have comes from China.
Yeah, of course.
So I try not to.
But it gets here tomorrow, David. But it gets here tomorrow.
I don't care. I just don't care. I would rather wait a week and pay twice as much to get something made in the USA. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Although I got to tell you, I can't think of how many times I'm like, I really need this thing like tomorrow or like this evening, and I can order it and it's here. So sometimes it's pretty nice.
So yeah, I say that. I'm all brass and bold right now when I don't need anything. So check back with me on my morals and standards when I actually need something in a hurry. But until then, I'm on the cusp. Although I'm about to go, scissor and the whole cut the cord thing that they all sold on the cut the cable. I'm ready to do it with all the streaming services. I am freaking done. I am so.
I'm easily paying
done.
more on streaming services than I ever did on cable. It's nuts.
I'm done with subscription services in general. I'm just done. I want something. I want to buy it once. I don't need your continuing updates. In fact, most of them are garbage.
Yeah, Facebook.
I would pay for Skype. If I've got to pay $150 for Skype, $200 for Skype, I will pay $200 for Skype. And then you don't touch it.
Don't change it. Right. It works. Don't change it.
Don't change it. It works. Leave it alone.
Right. The second you change it, it stops working. Don't change it.
Yeah.
Facebook, take a lesson. Zark Muckerberg, I know you're watching.
Big fan.
Don't change it.
We smash talk him all the time. He's a huge fan of us.
He is.
Yeah. You don't, and he has no control. It's all, those people. You know what I mean? Those people.
The
people that need to justify a job. They're not really necessary.
It's those people with the 8-figure jobs at Facebook.
They have to they have to justify their existence, so they make changes for no other reason to say, "Oh, I made this change." What happened? What have we done? Well, last quarter we rolled out blah 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 blah, and on the roadmap we have blah 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 blah.
Right.
And nobody in the room goes, "What use is that?" Nobody in the room. Don't let me in one of this room because I'll ask that question.
Right. Well, that's what every team needs is some random dude who's assigned, who they literally just hired off the street, and his only job is to be like, why do we need this?
Six words.
Explain
what
it to
the
me.
hell are you thinking?
Right.
That's it. What the hell are you thinking? And now, if they can answer the question of what the hell they're thinking, then we might be able to continue forward. But if they can't answer that question, you're fired.
Right. Exactly. No, I'm with you.
Yeah. We'll bring Trump in. We'll get him a good hairpiece. Look at him dead in the eyes. Smack the table. You're fired.
But David, those are the same people who are making the biohybrid robots. So those are right on the edge. We got those. They're coming.
What the hell are you thinking?
Are you ready?
Alexa can't turn off my nightstand. Okay, don't go making robots.
But we're gonna have. But we're gonna have
beyond your capabilities.
But we're gonna have. What is this? A stingray made from rat heart muscles. We're gonna have those, David. It's there.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's going to come in handy.
Well, I mean, also the fact they have robots that can consume organic material for a fuel source. They basically just invented biology.
Yeah.
All right, we got to move on. I saw it and I had to save it for you, David. I know you're a fan.
Yeah. So it just this is where the Matrix begins.
This is I mean,
but again,
I have a feeling that we're in the Matrix and it's breaking down. I think it started breaking down in late 2019, and it's all just completely just gone down the hill since then. So
I'm gonna make friends with Neo himself, and I'll be safe. It'll be fine.
I would hang out with Keanu Reeves.
Actually,
like a
I don't know if I do, because man, that guy gets shot at a lot in those movies, and robots chase him a lot too.
That seems pretty.
But he has some pretty wicked adventures.
Right. I mean, that seems pretty cool. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
All right. Next piece of news.
So we got. Actually, before we go further. What are you drinking over there tonight?
We didn't even get to that. Holy moly. Okay.
We just jumped right in.
So I am really massively under the weather right now. So I'm just drinking a Modelo, and then I'm just going to hydrate the rest of the time because I'm in poor shape.
Yeah.
What about
you? I took a small pour-ish of one of actually my favorites. Actually, during our blind taste test that we did here with the guys from Goalie Dads, I think this came in overall as the #1 bourbon, and it's the E.H. Taylor Small Batch.
It's a good one, man. That's a tasty bourbon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it's not. I mean, it's not simple to get. You don't just go down the street. You don't.
They don't carry that any place that I shop here in Ohio. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's. I usually have to make allowances for that one. And anytime I see one, I'm like, I've got one, but yeah, I'll go ahead and buy that.
Yeah, just pick up a case like you do with the Weller.
Yeah, although I need to actually send some. I need to put a down payment on my next Weller purchase. Send a few $100s over. Just like, hey man, just as you find stuff, just go ahead and box that up for me. Just box that up. So yeah,
there are some guys with they're really missing the ball on a good revenue opportunity just from you. I mean, they should randomly just save things and let you know. And
I do have a couple guys that do that. Actually.
Yeah, I believe it.
And then I'm hydrating with just some water here.
Yeah, good call. Oh man.
I mean, this is literally today is about as good as I have felt throughout this whole thing.
You haven't been in good shape in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Today was about the best I felt the entire time. I have learned I need to avoid caffeine. I like caffeinated beverages, but they mess with my head something fierce. So
yeah,
I can't do it anymore. I'm just getting old. Man, getting old.
Getting old sucks, man.
I'm getting old at such a young age. I don't like it.
Now look, if they could pluck your brain out and stick it in a younger, healthier bio-robotic body, bio-hybrid robotic body, would you take it? I would. That's my retirement plan. I'm waiting for it.
What are you talking? I couldn't get Alexa to turn off my nightstand, my lamp on my nightstand.
Yeah, mine's gonna be run by ChatGPT, not Alexa. So basically, I'll be plagiarizing it. I'll be plagiarizing everything, but I will be able to turn on a nightstand.
So I did something accidentally to my phone the other day, and it installed Gemini, and Gemini now runs my phone. So now I've got to go neuter my phone and restore it to factory defaults, clear it all the way out, because that doesn't work. Google's Gemini or whatever the hell it is, Samsung, whichever one of them it is that runs Gemini, their version of AI, we don't need any more. Okay. It simply isn't very useful. We've got it for the company I work for. We call it Red.
Okay.
And it is the most annoying thing.
What does Red do?
Hey, you haven't talked to me in a while. Red annoys me. It's supposed to be like this super easy automated AI thing that allows us to do lots of cool stuff. but it's a search engine, and it's a kind of a weak ass search engine at that.
Right.
And I was texting like, I hate you.
You know what they need is they need an AI that automatically populates your Salesforce data. That's what they need.
I would much rather not have the AI do that and just have an assistant.
An AI assistant.
I mean, it's a simple.
An AI assistant, right? Exactly.
Not an AI assistant. Not an AI assistant. An IN assistant. An intelligent assistant.
Well, good luck with that.
Assistant. That's what I need.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. There's so I was on, this is just here, we're going on a rant here real quick. I know we got to get over to the thing so we can get you back off the show, and cuddled up in bed and watching Rings of Power that you hate.
I don't hate it. I just pretend it's not Lord of the Rings.
There was a that's it. That's what you got to do. There's I think on Facebook, and this post, this guy was like, what are the creative ways that you call a person stupid? And so I'm
That's
like,
a good question.
dude, these comments are gonna be gold. Yeah. So I go in and I'll see some of them, they're good. So my latest thing is I call a person a collection of rare pennies. And I'm like, well, aren't you just a collection of rare pennies? And they're like, oh, thank you. And I just leave. That's it. I don't explain it. But, I say it a lot more than I probably should. Okay. It's like, oh, aren't you just a collection of rare pennies? It means they're no common sense.
God, I didn't even pick that up. I was going to ask you, like, I didn't pick it up.
And they don't get it. Nobody gets it. And I'm like, yes. So I put it on there. I'm like, I've taken to telling people that they're a collection of rare pennies. And they have, and a ... they've got no common sense. And man, people are like, dude, I'm stealing that. That is gold.
Luckily none of those people watch this show. So
if I don't care if they do. I mean, if you're they still won't get it. And they're like, oh, he said that to me the other day. That's so sweet.
He's such a nice guy.
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
There's just Southern people looking at me going, bless his heart.
Right. Mother. Yeah.
Dumbass.
That's a good one.
Yeah, if a Southern person tells you bless your heart,
that's their way of saying you're an idiot. You need to shut up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, honey.
Exactly.
Oh, here we go. So we've got retired extension dead is what red stands for. Okay.
Yeah. And then he says,
like rubbing two wooden nickels together.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. A collection of rare pennies, man.
I might use that.
It's a good one.
That's a good, yeah.
And you got to say it just like that. You get like, well, aren't you just a collection of rare pennies?
See, it works for you because you got the Southern accent, and Southern people say weird shit.
Up here in upstate New York. I haven't actually gotten to try it out on somebody up here yet. I will.
See, if I said it, it would sound like cynical and like I'm being a dick. Well, aren't you a collection of rare pennies?
Aren't you a collection of rare pennies?
Yeah.
Yes, no, I can see it. Yeah,
it wouldn't sound good.
But for me, it's all like, oh, aren't you just a collection of rare pennies?
I got to work on my Southern accent.
Yeah. So it's rough. Sometimes the West Virginian just slips out, and I can't stop it. And I'll be three or four words into a sentence, and I'm like, nobody's going to take me serious. No, I've just lost all credibility with this crowd. Dang.
Yeah, look, if you're speaking with higher level executives at your company, I mean, I would suggest other accent choices, but yeah, Southern probably isn't the first that I'd go with. So, but we're not going there.
I have 3 people on my team from Texas.
Dan says, drink more bourbon, West. I should drink all of the bourbon. I'm not feeling good at all.
That's, I mean, internal, what do you call it? Sanitization. There you go.
It just kills everything inside. I agree with that.
Yeah, just wipe it out.
Pickle it all. I'm okay with that.
Just pickled.
Speaking of booze, there's one more piece of actual news. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I kind of did.
All right.
Oh, is it coming? It's coming up. There it goes. A little slow. All right. Trump org launch. Stupid pop-ups. Hang on. I got too many pop-ups everywhere. These silly ads.
You don't want pop-ups.
Ads. Get out of my face. I can't even read the headline because of the ads. All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here what's going on.
Trump org launches new
some kind of a drug.
Trump org launches new hard cider with names like Donny Appleseed and Passionate Parrot. So
that is so.
I had to bring this up because I love cider, man. I love hard cider. It's so good.
Okay.
So George Washington was actually owned America's biggest distillery at the time of his presidency. So, look, I think it's kind of cool that he's opening a cider orchard. He's actually planting, I think it said in here, they're planting 10 to 12,000 trees for this orchard, just for their cider.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's
Donnie Appleseed. That's kind of funny, actually.
That's a cool name.
Nice little play on words there. Nice little play.
Right. If I ever see these, I'll have to pick you up some.
Yeah. So what I find funny is I'll go down into Manhattan, and my number one hangout spot down there is the Trump Tower, and there's a place there called the 45 Whiskey and Wine Bar, and I find it hilarious that we're all in there just drinking and having a good old time, and the guy who doesn't drink at all. And now he's launching a hard cider. Donnie Appleseed. That is still pretty
well. It's the org, so it's his family's company. So I think his sons both drink. Dan McDonald says, "Going to date myself. Do you remember Woodchuck cider? I don't remember Woodchuck cider.
I don't remember Woodchuck.
No.
It might be he's up in New England. He's over Mass. So
yeah,
might have been a more local thing.
That's how cider kind of is. I've noticed that every region has their own ciders. Except for Central Ohio.
Yeah, the popular one now is the Dickens.
The Dickens? I'm not going to complete that. I'm not going to complete that thought there, David.
I thought I was going to get you on that.
No.
I really did. I thought I was going to get you.
Well, aren't you a collection of rare pennies, David?
Aren't you just a collection of rare pennies? No, that doesn't work.
See, it doesn't work when I say it. I can't even pick the right time.
You need to hone your insults, sir. You need to become better at insulting people.
No, I'm actually really good at insulting. That's the problem.
No, you're good at pissing people off. That's different than insulting them.
Fair enough.
So I loved it when you sent over the agenda today, and I got to dig into it. It was actually probably took me about a half hour, 45 minutes. I was able to flip over and check that email, and I seen the knot in there, and I'm like, oh, he's got a link, and there it was, the link. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. I love these nights when we get to review somebody else who is a rare collection of pennies.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a one of these yet that we haven't been able to absolutely dismantle.
So look, I'm really under the weather. I did not feel like writing an agenda, so I was kind of lazy. But these are good. I like these too. I like going in and dismantling other people's arguments. Because everybody writes about how to be a millionaire, how to make, 7 figures at a stay-at-home passive income,
It's
always passive income.
Passive income with
sitting on a beach.
Vending machines.
Right. Vending machines that fill themselves.
That I have to work 120 hours a week with a $15,000 startup, and it nets me, $75 a week. It's passive income.
Passive income. Right. You're good.
Passive.
Yeah. Do you like Angry Orchard? I like Angry Orchard. They're pretty good. You know what I really like are the Cider Boys. Have you seen Cider Boys? They'll have like the strawberry ciders, and they'll have like mixing the different fruits with the ciders. They're really good, man. The Cider Boys are really good.
Yeah, that stuff. The problem I think I have is the same with the Pumpkin and all those beers, the pumpkin beers, is that they kind of get highlighted during the fall.
Okay.
And there's just better beer to drink, in my humble opinion.
That's true.
There is just better beer to drink during this, getting ready to be this time of year.
I love a good Oktoberfest. I love a good Marzen. But there are times when I got a sweet tooth. I just want a cider. It's relaxing. It's comfort food for me. Comfort drink.
I'm typing in some information right now.
I don't trust you.
I gotta look this up.
I know what other screens you have.
Well, no. I'm just looking up. I'm looking up the date. September 6th to September 8th is the Columbus Oktoberfest, by the way. So isn't that it's like next weekend, isn't it?
Sorry, I tried to mute myself. I couldn't get to it fast enough. It's coming up quick. Are you coming in town for that?
Well, I mean, I usually do. It's a rare event that if I miss Columbus's Oktoberfest.
I think you missed last year, actually. I think I got you a pin.
The most damage I've ever done to myself in drinking was done at Columbus Oktoberfest.
Right. It's easy to do that.
I was in bed for 2 days. 2 days. I drank almost 6 liters of Oktoberfest beer.
That's in one sitting.
Yeah, that was in one night. That was in just about 3.5 hours.
And I've said it before, like just in sheer volume, like that's a lot of liquid. Alcohol aside, that's a lot of liquid.
Yeah, and he was like, I think they were pushing close to 8% on that one too. So I mean, it
Nice.
wasn't crazy, but when you're drinking 5.5, I think I ended at 5.5. It's not full liters over there, so it's a little under. But when you have 5.5 liters of beer, it's
Dan Donald says
it's a
Oktoberfest is
lot.
during September. Yeah, that's the weird thing. I never quite understood that either.
Yeah,
Blame the Germans.
yeah,
That's all I can
it
say.
is October. Yeah, I don't know why they called it Oktoberfest. I don't know where the name came from. I know where the event came from with the marriage of King Ludwig, but I don't know why they called it, where it developed from the celebration for King Ludwig when it transferred over to
They should have called it
Oktoberfest and how
Septemberfest.
yeah. So what's funny is my hometown in Chesapeake, Ohio, they'll do Oktoberfest in October. It's a dry city. They don't serve alcohol in that city. And they spell it OCT
What?
instead of OKT,
Yeah.
Oktoberfest. And I just, I just drive. I've driven through there a couple times, and I see signs for it, and I'm just like, it pisses me off.
Yeah, that's.
I was like, everything about it pisses me off.
There's no alcohol,
like,
and they spell it wrong.
No alcohol. You spell it wrong, and it's in October.
Right.
Everything about you, I don't like. I gave it a thumbs up.
There's some teetotaling do-gooder city council member who spends his evenings working at the library, who thought, you know what, this is going to be great for the community. We can all get together and share a cold glass of water in October.
Yeah, yes, in October, because that's what we want to do. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So Dan McDonald says we should have a show where David and Wes dress up in Oktoberfest St. Pauli girl outfits.
It's funny you mentioned that, Dan. I actually have an AI-generated photo of David in one of those outfits. And maybe I should break that out for Oktoberfest. Maybe that should be the cover for one of our videos.
See, I was hoping that wouldn't come to mind immediately.
It always immediately comes to mind, David.
But it did.
You look fantastic in that getup.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the beard.
Oh man! So, are you coming in town for Oktoberfest?
All right. So
you didn't answer the question.
So I'll look into it and see what I can get away with, because I'm trying to get a trip into. Actually, I'm trying to get a trip. I didn't know our buddy Mike from the Goalie Dads has never been to Vegas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm thinking Vegas.
That would be a fun trip.
So. Yeah, so maybe we should just get a big, get a guys trip to Vegas. So we'll talk about that off air.
Yeah, that's another conversation.
Dan, we're going to be sending you information about joining us with Oktoberfest, or not Oktoberfest, in Vegas. Just going to Vegas. Doesn't have to be for Oktoberfest.
Just any old time.
November. Yeah, just sometime, November, December, something like that. I don't know. Just go to Vegas. Where it's cold here, it'll still be warm there. So
there you go. Even better. We'll end up dead in the desert somewhere. It's fine.
Yes.
All right.
We'll fully reenact whatever that weird movie is that everybody likes, with a baby all that stuff.
The Hangover. That was a good movie. Hangover 1 was a good movie.
Yeah.
Hangover 2 and 3 were basically remakes of the first one, but the first one was good. Yeah.
So he must be getting over to him now. So yeah, he's all on board. There's a lot of hearts and look like some dog faces and all kinds of stuff popping up there.
All right, I didn't see that.
All righty. So how not to become a millionaire by following some random person on the internet's advice.
Right. So on Forbes, there is how to become a self-made multi-millionaire, not just millionaire, multi-millionaire when starting from nothing. This is written by Melissa Houston, who I'm sure is a multi-millionaire since she's giving this advice online. She must be.
Yes.
Because all multimillionaires have time to write blog posts.
Yeah. I would love to be able to go to ChatGPT and ask it, "Hey, ChatGPT, did you write this article?" And then punch in the title of the article and the film, and then send it over to it, and it will be like, "Yeah, I wrote that."
So they are working on that. So I know OpenAI is working on it, and Meta is working on it. They're working on a digital watermark. They're going to basically put in certain the way phrases are used or certain word combinations that can be used to identify if it's been generated by AI in the future or not. So I'm sure somebody's going to find a way around it within a second, but I know they're working on it.
They need to select a specific character or a random character in each of them so that it can be identified from a, so fonts basically.
That doesn't work.
So it just
because you just copying and pasting doesn't save
just
font.
rain on my parade there, bro.
Well, copying and pasting doesn't save font data. It doesn't save that kind of metadata.
All right, moving on. We're going to learn from this millionaire how she became a millionaire.
Right. So apparently she must be a multi-millionaire because she wrote this article. How to become a self-made multi-millionaire when starting from nothing. And I'm sure she started from absolutely nothing. Pulled herself up from the bootstraps. And let's take it away. So becoming a self-made multi-millionaire is a goal of many. Yada, yada, yada. We're not going there. All right. Here are 5 tips to help you on your path to financial independence. So number 1 is adopt the right mindset, David. You got to have a positive mindset if you can be a millionaire.
Okay. We're in manifestation mode.
Right.
Okay.
You got to manifest these things.
Got it. Manifest.
Mindset is everything when on the journey to becoming a self-made multimillionaire. Your beliefs about money, wealth, and success will either propel you forward or hold you back. There's the abundance mentality and the growth mindset. Both of those say, if you believe it, it's going to happen.
If you build it, they will
exactly.
Come. So if I just get a really big wallet, people just put money in it.
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, why not? I still think we should start just open like a Venmo account, like a tip account, and say, just wait for like Elon Musk or, one of those people to drop $1 million in there. Why not? It's going to happen. Yeah. If we have a positive mindset, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Manifestation.
Right, exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. So, sorry about the coughing. I don't have access to my mute button here. All right. So, and then of course we missed the long-term vision. You got to envision yourself be a multimillionaire in the long run too. Otherwise, you're going to make the money and then you're going to lose it again. You got to have the long-term vision.
Okay.
Number 2 is develop multiple streams of income. Of course, when you're starting from nothing and you have really nothing to your name, you're flipping burgers and working a part-time job at the grocery store and a second part-time job delivering DoorDash. You have the time and the disposable income,
resources,
disposable income for multiple streams of income. So why not? So the first, not a bad idea, says start a business. I think anybody can do that. I think anybody can start a Shopify business. It takes some startup capital because they're not cheap. But do a print-on-demand T-shirt business. Start selling food and vending machines for Pete's sake. Why not? Invest in real estate.
Oh, a T-shirt vending machine. That would actually not be a bad idea.
Vending machine. Well, they have clothing vending machines in certain countries overseas. I'm not going to go there, but they do have those clothing vending machines in other countries that seem to do well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, if you did a one-off T-shirt. I don't know if anybody knows this, but Metallica makes specific designs and shirts like this. Up here behind me is actually I'm pointing to it. You guys can't see it. Is a poster that was for the Las Vegas actual concert a couple of years ago, and it's only sold and only available at that show. Mm-hmm. And if you were to drop a specific design in for a football game or something, or a concert or something, and just throw it out there, I mean. It's going to sell
so
out.
You're actually right. You're actually right. But here's the catch. You need to actually make that work. You need a following. And you can develop the following. It takes a long time and a lot of work. I mean, it's basically a full-time job times 2. And it takes a long time to build that following. But you can totally do that. And there are people who do that. There are some people who, they'll have private labels and they'll, drop a couple thousand of their unique T-shirts or maybe a couple hundred of their unique T-shirts. And they sell out immediately. It happens. But those people also spend, 60 hours a week, 70, 80 hours a week.
Wait,
working on their audience.
What's happening in the comments over here? Nikki says, my wife says, well, shit, I'll be poor forever. I'm not sure what part that was about.
I think on all of it.
And then Dan says, no, you married David.
That's funny. I don't even have that comment on here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened over here. Oh, it might have been the positive mindset.
Oh, funny. Yeah,
Nikki. That is a bit of a weakness on her side. I'm saying.
I'm with you, Nikki. So you can actually do that.
From one pessimist to another.
Starting a business is a good idea. That's the first right thing this lady has said. Let's see. Second, invest in real estate. Anybody who's starting from nothing can go out and invest in real estate. Well, real estate's dirt cheap, David. You ever try to buy something?
Yeah, well, I would like to introduce her to. I want her to read just one white paper or one article on Maslow, and work this into the hierarchy of needs and where that fits in the box.
Yeah.
But yeah. She did call. Nikki came back. She said it's a positive mindset. Yeah,
there you go. Right. Okay, I got that. I didn't get Dan's comment on there.
So yeah, real estate is dirt cheap. You can pick it up.
Real estate is a good investment.
Low cost now,
but maybe not if you're starting from nothing. You need some disposable income to pick up real estate. I'll put it.
All you gotta do is be able to outbid people like BlackRock. It's fine. It's easy to do.
If you have a positive mindset,
Chase.
It practically comes
Chase
to you.
Is buying it up too.
So real estate, it's the one thing they're not making anymore. So definitely invest in real estate, according to this lady, starting from nothing. Invest in the stock market, because everybody who's anybody knows to get rich quick, drop all of your money in in the stock market. It works out really, really well all the time.
It's like here was the prompt. Here was the prompt. ChatGPT. Show me some options for diversifying my portfolio.
Exactly.
And that's what this is going to spit out. Actually, you don't need ChatGPT. You can just ask Google for that.
This is all just Google. It's not even ChatGPT. It's not that smart.
This is all Google. Yeah, it's not AI. This is just a standard Google search right here.
Invest in the stock market.
Practice financial discipline.
Oh yeah, number 3, practice financial discipline. So don't waste your money on meaningless nonsense like delicious bourbon, David. Live below your means. Live below your means through budgeting and avoid bad debt. Actually, I do agree. Avoid bad debt. I think that's something most people can do. It's really hard, especially when you dig yourself into a hole. It's really hard to get out of that hole. But if you can start from the beginning before you get into debt problems, avoid bad debt. That's actually a good piece of advice. But it's too late for most people.
It's one of the number one things I'm trying to teach my son is to stay away from debt. Is you leverage it when you need to, and there's times when you can leverage it for great things because you don't pay taxes on debt. By the way, people, you don't pay taxes.
And you know what? There are times when like ultra wealthy people will say, behind closed doors, they never pay for anything. They'll take out loans to go pay for all their investments, and they're basically, they're in debt their entire lives, but they're also billionaires. So there are ways around it, but the average Joe probably isn't playing the game that way, but you should definitely avoid bad debt. So she has like 2 right things in this whole article so far.
Let me say, it's not bad advice. It's not a from the bootstraps up. You have
not by a long
nothing,
shot.
And in 6 months to a year, you're going to be a multimillionaire.
I mean, a lot of these aren't even things.
So far,
a lot of these things aren't even things that like an average low six-figure income could do. Because you're paying for a house, you're paying for a mortgage, your kids are in, sports, you're paying for this, you're paying back your car loans, and in the meantime, you don't have money to invest in real estate. So this is definitely not advice for those starting from the bottom, like she says. But let's move on. Number 4, invest in yourself. Invest in yourself, David. You'll be a multimillionaire.
Take money out of my left pocket, put it in my right pocket. What the hell?
Through education, networking, and personal development. So, take that baking course on the weekends, David. Learn Tai Chi. Actually, I do agree that networking is super, super, super important. I cannot explain how important networking actually is. Your entire value as a person in the workforce depends almost solely 100% on your network. Knowing the right people will get you into doors you never imagined you would get into. Knowing the right people will get you seated at tables you never thought you'd sit at. Your network really makes a big difference.
And if anybody's struggling out there, give me a call. I'll come out. I'll give you a class on networking and working.
Yeah, although I don't ever recommend going to those LinkedIn networking events. They're garbage unless you want to buy life insurance. Oh, no. They're complete garbage. All they are is salesmen for different types of insurance. That's all it is. It's like 2 random people who stumbled in.
So let's say,
and it's all salespeople.
So let's say you are a water softener company, softener company that, the water comes in from the street and you're treating it and before it goes into the rest of the building. If you go to a social event for water softening people, or water treatment, it's just going to be a room it's going to be a room full of you. Now it does have some value there, knowing and who's in there, who's in the market, who your competition is, and making friends and building partnerships with these people. It's not a bad way to go, but you need to know that it's when you go in, they always structure and sell them as excellent networking.
Right. That's how they always say that.
You go in with the mindset that you're going to get, this could increase your sales and your exposure. No, it's not. No, it's not. You have a much better chance if you want to do something like that to increase your appearance to your ideal customers. Hold an open house instead. You far better reach, far better impact. You have control of the situation, and now it's just you as the provider of said water softeners, previously aforementioned, and 150 people that need your product.
Oh yeah.
Instead of one person who may need your product and 149 people that are just like you.
Right. So I've been to a lot of events that were marketed as like networking events and like learning seminars and things in the different industries that I'm a part of. And they're garbage for networking. But I will say, if you want to raise your self-esteem, go to events in your industry. I have never felt smarter in my entire life than I do when I go to these events. Like, I'm talking to people at like significantly larger companies than me. I mean, these people basically have the same role as me, but like at just massive, just global companies. And I'm thinking to myself, I should not know
how did you get there
this much more than you about such basic stuff. I should not know. Now, look, if it's like an executive, like 3 steps up, I get that. It's not their job to know what I know. But people who like are on my level, but at much bigger companies, I'm like, wow, I feel really good about myself right now. Networking is garbage, but it's good for the self-esteem.
I was out in, I think it was in Arizona. And I'm talking with this guy and I'm showing him some stuff. He goes, oh yeah, that's like business 101. I'm like, yeah, it is. And if we actually did it, we'd be winning.
Funny how that works, isn't it? If you just follow the principles that you know are the right thing to do, guess what? You're going to win. It's funny how that works.
Yeah. And I said, you know what happens every time when a football team or basketball team or baseball team or anybody gets on a slump of losing? Well, they always say what? They always say, we're going to go back to the basics. That's what literally every time.
Why did you ever leave the basics?
So why the hell did you leave the basics?
Right.
I get it. There's some creative accounting that you can do up here and some projection stuff that can happen behind the scenes that should influence your business, but it should not direct your business.
Going back to the basics.
Stick to the basement. Back to the basics.
Yeah, don't ever leave the basics. Just stay with the basics. Oh, lost the screen there.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Lost the screen.
So education, networking, and personal development. So take that baking course on the weekends. You'll be a multimillionaire in no time.
Are you saying baking or bacon? Because
baking,
I'm significantly more interested in one than the other.
You can bake bacon. You ever had baked bacon? It's pretty good.
We do back in my house. We do bake bacon.
Delicious.
We don't. Yeah,
it's delicious.
Bacon. So, I took my phone's too far away. Never mind. I have no sense of smell. I can't taste. I'm literally ruining every meal that I'm cooking and being a part of right now. It's ridiculous. And I can
because
cook.
You just can't taste or smell.
Really good cook. I can't smell, so I usually, I did not realize how much I rely on it. So I've just been burning everything. So
not good for somebody in the fire industry, David.
If I were to try to make bacon, yeah. If I were to try to make bacon right now, you better want it burnt because that's what you're going to get. Because I'm going to be doing something. I'm going to be whipping eggs and doing French toast or something like that, which I'll also burn.
Actually, bacon sounds really good right now. I might have to go make some bacon.
I had a grilled cheese earlier. I had some grilled cheese. I had a grilled cheese earlier, and I burnt the crap out of it too. I was like, man, I just cannot get this right. I can't smell the temperature. I don't know that. That sounds weird.
I get it.
I can't smell certain temperatures and how things are.
If your dog loves bacon,
definitely are, Dave.
The apple bacon brew bones from Underdog Plus. Delicious. made right here in Central Ohio. So
Yes.
go to
Ooh, I do need to
underdogplus.com,
place- I need
pick
to
up
place
some
an
apple
order.
bacon Proubons, fresh Ohio apples, and again, small batch, delicious. Your dog will thank you. Yeah.
Cool. And while you're there, you will be helping Wes diversify his portfolio and becoming
Obviously,
a multimillionaire.
this is obviously making me a multimillionaire. This is exactly what's happening.
Look at that haircut.
Yeah, well,
Clearly it
ask
is.
my current wife.
Okay.
She's ready to leave me and move to the Bahamas, or at least I'm half right on that.
Nice.
Number 5 is take calculated risks. So that's something you always do when you're at the bottom.
Okay, I do like that.
Entrepreneurship, investing, and innovate. Let's see. While wealth creation often involves taking risks, but it's important to ensure they are calculated. So yeah, I mean, look, entrepreneurship goes right along with starting a business or any endeavor that you're taking on yourself.
It's opportunity
exactly. And look, it's not free. It's going to cost you, but it's an investment. So that makes sense. And that goes right down into investing. Anything that is going to make you money is going to cost money. There's no such thing as a free lunch. And none of this is starting from the bottom advice, but it's all fair advice. I wouldn't say fine or fair. It's somewhere in the middle of fine and fair.
It's got some.
But take calculated risks, and we should always do that. The only what is it in baseball? The only balls you don't hit are the ones you don't swing at, something like that. The only shots you don't take are the ones you miss, or something. I don't know baseball, but I get the analogy.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
I get it. See, I was close. I don't know baseball. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So yeah, take calculated risks. You always should. Some risks should be more calculated than others, like don't quit your day job to go and start some silly business. But look, it's all calculated.
Yeah. There are other things that might help. I have a meeting with a guy tomorrow. Who's starting up a business. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, look, it's all calculated. It's all risky, but no risk, no reward, man. It's to the victor nor the spoils. And if you
go
ahead.
With what we opened the show with, the guy who made the casting couch,
he took a calculated risk. He calculated that nobody on the judging panel would know that room.
And he was right. Yeah. He was right. And then it was stripped. And I got to tell you, that just makes the story
That's really funny.
It just makes
it's funnier that you recognize that room, Dave.
Well,
it's always the same room. Yeah. They don't like do any feng shui, rearranging the furniture or anything like that.
They do some feng shui, but it's not the way you think. Moving on.
I think that was it. I think there were only 5 tips. I think that was it. This lady is Melissa Houston. Let's click on her bio here. And I'm sure she's a multimillionaire. Melissa Houston, contributor to Forbes Women. She's a CPA with 20 years experience. Written very wonderful articles here on Forbes. I highly recommend them if you have nothing better to do.
She's a CPA and has access to ChatGPT.
Yeah, she's a CPA with ChatGPT. She knows all the syllables and acronyms and initialisms. She even has AI make some of her her thumbnails, which is nice.
Yeah. So that's something I've noticed. A lot more people have these ridiculous professional headshots now, because they just snap a selfie. They run it through the AI.
They run through the AIs, and it makes a picture of them out.
It makes a picture of them with the hair flowing back.
I actually need to do that. I don't have a good headshot of myself, so I do need to do that.
So I did mine right out here. It was shortly after we moved in here. They were like, David, we need to get a headshot. So I reached around.
No, David. We're not talking. No, this is
talking about.
This is a family show, David.
Talking about the casting couch all night. All of a sudden, I'm like, hey, we did a reach out. So I reached out to the community, and they're actually one of Penny's best friends. Her mom is a photographer, and she wasn't able to do it. I'm like, all right, fine, forget it. So I had my lighting for the podcast. I set it up. I had a stool. I got my shirt on, my tie, and my jacket. I had a pair of shorts on. I sat right out here with that nice. It was tan at the time. We changed the paint since, but and I did the headshot there, and it actually turned out pretty
nice.
good.
I need a good one, so I might do the AI thing. So there's one that I found that what you take like multiple angles of yourself, so like you can get a really good like all around like view of what you look like, and you can do like different things, do like sci-fi stuff or like alien stuff, or turn you into like a Lord of the Rings, elf creature or something. And yeah, it's kind of cool. That could be my headshot. I'm gonna put that on my LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
We'll see how that works out for me.
Calculated
that is a calculated risk. Yes.
I know how to use AI.
Some calculations.
Properly. It's for making up random pictures and faking my knowledge in
some
news
calculations
articles.
are better than others. Yeah. So actually, I've gotten really good at some of the newer AI platforms. I don't know if you've read anything about Grok lately. The Twitter's AI. Terrible name, by the way. One of the worst names ever created. It's almost as bad as iHeartRadio. But Grok is Twitter's AI. And something cool about that is they're about to be sued by pretty much everyone. Because, like on Facebook AI and ChatGPT, their AI, when they create images, they deliberately won't create images of like living people. Right? They like, you can't say, give me a photo of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris holding hands walking down a flowery meadow.
Oh, I did. I seen that. Seen that image.
So you can't say that to those. But Grok, you can. You can have anyone doing anything. There are zero limits, and it's Twitter's AI.
Parody is legal.
Well, right.
They can try all they want. Parody is legal.
Right. So, well, I think they might have some issues because the images it references, it technically pulls from all the images on the internet. So anyone with images on the internet could technically come along and say, your system referenced my photos. I don't know which photos, but it references them.
Yeah. Who was it? Wall Street Journal or somebody like that tried that.
There's still companies trying to sue OpenAI about that, which, I mean, it's going to get thrown out in the long run.
It will get thrown out. And the way that I would approach it, an easy way to defeat it is, as you're driving down the street, I can take pictures of anything I want driving down the street.
Anything in the public,
I can take pictures of anything I want. Yeah, that's from public and street access. I can do that. I can go to the courthouse and the city hall, and I can walk around.
Right. The difference is,
and perform an audit.
Content that you put online is technically published, and you can't copy somebody else's published work. But here's the thing. So AI images aren't actually, but AI images aren't actually copying the work. They're referencing the work in the same way an independent artist references other works to come up with his own unique work. So that's how that's going to get thrown out.
Yeah.
Because they're going to say, look, a kid at art school.
Yeah, there's ways.
Everybody has their influences. It's just part of creation.
Yeah.
And that's how it's going to get thrown out. So it will get thrown out.
There's nothing under the sun that's new.
Everything influences everything else, and that's literally how these AI bots work. Yep. Unless it's a biohybrid robot that is taking over the world, as referenced earlier in the.
I couldn't get Alexa to turn off my lamp, dude.
You need to subscribe to the $10 a month
of AI
Smart Alexa.
Taking over.
She can not only turn off a lamp.
I'm not
going to do that.
Lamp. So, I talked to my son earlier today. It was yesterday. I said, you know what? There's a market for. There is a market for an in-home, non-connected, non-WAN. WAN, for those of you that aren't nerds like myself, is wide area network. That's basically connecting to the internet. A non-WAN connected or connectable home automation
you can build
system.
Those. So you can build those yourself on. You can build it yourself with Raspberry Pi. I've seen it. I saw a thing yesterday about how to build one of those.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And if you have to update, if you want to update, you take your jump drive and you plug it into your computer, and then you take it over and you plug it into your server and you update it that way. Because there's some other things I have ideas for that would be great, but my problem is I would be literally handing the ability to control everything in your house to anybody, specifically the government. I don't care about.
They already know everything, David.
But the government. Yeah, but the government, I don't want the I already have to battle. I'm getting ready to rip off the freaking Nest off my wall.
Oh, Nest, yeah, they're monitoring everything.
I'm about to take it, and I'm going to take it outside. I'm going to put it.
Anybody who wants to know anything happening in your house, they already know, David.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I want the thing gone. We like this house cold. And it's like, oh, I'm going to go into eco mode for you. We're saving you. You could
don't
screw
change
off,
anything until I tell you.
Don't mess with the
change
temperature of my house.
Yeah.
Yes, I get up in the morning. I turn the temperature up to 70 degrees.
Keep it that way until I tell you to change again.
I've said, and it stays there until I usually go around 6 o'clock and I start working it back. I'll go take it down to 65 and then down to 62 at night.
You're one of those thermostat Nazi dads, aren't you?
No, they can do if it makes them comfortable. They make it. They're allowed to touch it whatever they can turn it whatever they want. But at night it's going to be cold. The problem is if it's 67, 68 degrees in our house, none of us are sleeping. None of us.
That's not.
I mean,
David, that is not hot. That is not hot.
It is murderous for us.
By the way, your house is ridiculously cold. Your house, I almost died of hypothermia when I stayed in your house. Thank goodness you had that giant down comforter, because I was so wrapped up in that thing, man. I almost died. You would have come in,
you would have
come in at like
we
noon.
Were snuggled up, and you were like, David, you're so warm.
No, you would have come in at like noon because I didn't come out yet, and you're like, well, shit, West is dead. And I would have icicles coming out of my ears. I would have died.
So there's a couple vents down that side of the house we keep shut off.
Thank goodness. Holy moly.
Because other times I've walked back through there, I'm like, gee, many Christmas, this is why it's not cold in this part of the house, is it's all coming over here. So I keep a couple of the vents over there shut off anyway.
That was rough, man.
But we do have that. I mean, it's a Tommy Hilfiger like plaid stuff. I mean, the freaking comforter it was that thick. It was usually half a foot
thick, and it was great. It was a great comforter. But I was still I was freezing.
That's for sure.
Even then I was still freezing. Yeah.
Really? So I don't mind being cozy. But when I take a breath, I want it to be just short.
Being able to see your breath? Uh-oh. You froze. Okay, you're back.
With it.
You froze for a second.
Yeah. It came up here and said, you're offline. Your internet was restored.
Your internet's freezing, David. It's too cold.
But yeah.
Your wires are freezing.
That's what it is. Wires freezing. Electricity frozen.
Yeah, so one thing you don't know is I actually don't have very much blood. That's like my average resting heart rate is literally like the low 50s. So I have like no blood. My heart rate is like I'm almost clinically dead most of the time. So yeah, your house is way too cold.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I've got a lot of blood. Although recently with the surgeries and whatnot, they've tried to drain a lot of it out. It seems.
Yeah, when I get cut, it doesn't even bleed. It just goes. Sounds like a balloon, just like letting off a little air. Yeah.
Pressure relief valve. Now we're just on the show.
We're just making. We've gotten to the point in the show where we just make weird noises. All right.
Yeah. All right, that's it. I think we should wrap it up, and then I'm going to head down to Bear Creek and grab myself some dinner.
I'm going to go into a coma, and hopefully by tomorrow I'm feeling a little bit better. I have an important business call tomorrow, and should go well. And yeah,
that's
all right. Everybody, I've been Wes. This guy's been David. We've been the Underdog Journey, and thanks for sticking with us through all of our issues. Hopefully, by watching our content, you may or may not be a multimillionaire.
Don't follow that.
There's no way. There is no way.
It was not bad advice, but you're not doing it from the bottom.
She's a millionaire.
Yeah, you're not doing it from the bottom.
Moving on.
Yeah.
trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red, and the brown. Now keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray. Time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funky in the city, funky up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. It was good in the city, funky up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.